came about
Mm-hmm.
learning about the faith.
Yes.
I accepted
Mm-hmm.
gracefully,
Mm-hmm.
and I hadn't told Rocky.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Me and him would have these conversations.
Yes.
You know, and it would be like, if it's another word, it ain't God.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I'm like, you know, in my heart. But what I learned and what I witnessed was so sweet. You know?
Yes.
So, you know, so I couldn't, you know, I didn't want to tell him, you know,
Yeah.
hey, you know, I found something else, you know, because what I've been seeing, you know, was the same old thing,
Yes.
you know, and, you know, so I was over in Gig Harbor, you know, right?
Yes.
And I told, what's her name? The lady.
Karen Lowe.
No.
Shadi.
Shadi. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you know, I got a friend.
Yes.
You know, that lives over here in Gig Harbor.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I really would like to get him to come over here and, you know, see this and witness this.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And so I'm thinking, well, I'm going to tell this big oaf. you know, he don't like to listen to nothing, you know. and you know, it was like I went to another thing, and I think it was over at Russ's house.
Yes,
somewhere.
yeah, he had a house party there. I was there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And
you're dialing that phone, and
they let's see what happened. I was talking to some lady, and I said, well, I got a friend that lives over here.
Yeah.
And his name is Rocky Rockwell, and his wife is a school teacher over here. And,
yeah.
And the lady paused. She says, "Is her name Zelodius?" I said, "Yeah." She teaches my children. You know. I said, well, okay then. Well, I guess you know the Crockwell.
Yes. Yes.
And so I finally talked to Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I want you to come check this out. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And he came over and I said, well, this is what I got, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm doing. And then I guess it took him a little while to mull it over.
Mm-hmm.
And then me and him, we were sitting here with you one night.
Yeah.
And he says, Marco, you've been knowing about this the whole time, and you just turned me on. you know? And I said, well, I didn't know, but I wasn't sure because, you know, I mean, I'm so used to seeing ministers and priests and all that, you know, behave the same old way, you know. But me and Rocky, we go further back
early '90s,
where I was a house manager, you know, of a clean and sober house. In fact. And I was working pretty hard, you know. Then I slid down, being surrounded by people with dual diagnoses, you know, doing drugs and their medication, and me knowing all the little ins and outs and everything. And so, you know, that took me a step back, but then I got back up on my feet and ended up in another clean and sober house, managing, and says, Rocky, come on over here with me, you know. And, you know, Rocky has a good spirit about it, and where everybody sees Rocky and they want to talk to him. And so we'd be at these NA meetings or AA meetings.
Yes.
And everybody would love to give Rocky the floor, you know, let him talk, you know. He talk about 30 minutes, you know, if you want, you know.
He's good at that.
And you know, he got, you know, I introduced him to the AA realm.
Oh, yes. Oh.
And because all he knew was church, and he saw the same thing that I saw, that it was just the same old run of the mill, and people being the way they were to each other in church. Ooh, that's scary. But, you know, he started showing up all the time, whenever we had a meeting, and it was good to see my old friend, to be able to be of use, to have some kind of input or some kind of sign of hope, and he got known real well. He'd take some of these guys to the store and here and there, and it's pretty good. And here we are now.
Yeah.
It was really something that he got here. He got here. I knew I wanted to tell him about it real bad.
And you were his guide, his spiritual teacher. You led him to the community, and your lives have kind of been intertwined here, and your presence in our community is such a blessing.
It was a powerful feeling that I felt that I needed to let him know about this Baha'i thing. I needed to let him know. But then, wait a minute. We were at a study, the Red Book.
Yes. And Tim.
The thing is, they were going, there, and we were studying, and something was said about Jesus or Baha'u'llah or something like that, and I kind of missed the whole thing, but Rocky said, "They ain't right." What it was I think, Rocky never heard or anything about this, the Baha'i, so when something like this would come up, you kind of like take a step back. Well, wait a minute. And so, me, myself, always went with God, I never trust man, I always trust God to do the right thing, to lead me the right way, I took a step back. I said, something's not right about this. I believe what I did and going and befriending with the Baha'i was a good thing. Because I took a step back and it just felt weird, for me, because I know that I'm my own man and I know where I've been. I know, and so well, again, I'm waiting on you to guide me and let me know what is what. Show me the truth. Show me what I need to see. Let me do what I need to do. Let me do the work that you want me to do. And continue on, and if I can make it that long, then I'll praise you forever and ever.